Okay, a midpoint is halfway between the two endpoints, and we can see that the blue point is a midpoint because we have one slash here, one slash here. The green point's a midpoint because we've got two slashes and two slashes. If you connect these two midpoints, then you get what's called a mid-segment. Yes, go ahead, Jennifer. Yeah, move up. Go ahead. So the red segment is called a mid-segment. All right? So it's a special segment in a triangle. Now, mid-segments have basically two properties. First of all, they're parallel to the third side. So the mid-segment comes from these two sides. In this case, it's parallel to the third side, which I can indicate by showing the one arrow and the one arrow. The second property, which we were using in the homework today, is that it's half the length of the third side. So if this third side is, say, 2x, whatever x is, then this mid-segment is x. It's half of that. So if this was 20, this would be 10. If this was 200, this would be 100, and so on. So the mid-segment is half of the third side. Okay? So those are the two properties involved in mid-segments. Here are a couple examples. Here's example one. All right? There's a little bit more to this than what we saw before. Okay, we know that D, E, and F are midpoints because of the 3/3/1/1 and so on to indicate that these two half pieces are the same. Now what I can do is say, okay, if AE is 10, I can write 10 in there. Now, because I know from A to E is 10, I'll say that EB is 10. Now what I'm going to do is draw a mid-segment in. The mid-segment I'll use is, first of all, DF. Now, we know a couple things. We know that DF is parallel to AB. And even in my rough drawing here, they pretty much look parallel, like they're not going to intersect. We also know that DF is half of AB. Okay, how far is it from A to B? 20. 10 plus 10 is 20. And half of 20 would be 10. So we know that DF is going to be 10. Okay? We can continue in this way. CF is 8. So I know this is 8. Therefore, from F to B must also be 8. Now I can draw a mid-segment between the left side and the right side. Now we know that because it's a mid-segment, this segment DE must be parallel to segment CB. Must be parallel. In addition to that, we know that DE must be half of CB. And so if CB is 16, which it is, I know that DE is half of that, so it's going to be 8. And finally, I can do that on this last one. We'll look at it from a slightly different point of view. Now we're told that EF is 6. Okay? EF is a mid-segment. And so if EF is 6, how long is it from A to C? How do we go from the mid-segment to the third side? Yeah, go ahead. It's going to be 12. We have to double it because we know that the mid-segment is half of the third side. This time I gave you mid-segment, not third side, so you have to go the other direction. And so this has to be half of this side, so I doubled 6 to get 12. And so we have, of course, 6 and 6 here if you want to write that out. So that's one example. Let's take a look at one more. This is a case kind of like the homework where we have a mid-segment and a third side. Okay? And so we know the mid-segment will be half of the third side. So I can say x plus 5 is half of the third side, which is 5x minus 2. So to solve this, what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 2. Now I can distribute the 2 on the left, and I get 2x plus 10. On the right, these guys are going to cancel. And so I'm just left with 5x minus 2. I'll add 2 to both sides and subtract 2x from both sides. And finally, I get x is equal to 4. What I'm going to do is just paste it over to the other page. Okay? So now you can see it over here. Okay? So that would be another example similar to the stuff we were doing in the homework. Okay? So those are basically the two ways we're going to look at mid-segment for now.